Big up, guys. Big up, guys. Welcome to this preview, the buzz, obviously, predictions, and for Carabao Cup, third round, and Champions League phase predictions with all the English, just basically the English clubs, really. So I'll be doing the preview first for the Carabao Cup, which would be Arsenal, Brentford, I mean. Although I'm saying Arsenal, but they're not in it. They're in the Champions League anyway at the moment. So I'll be going on with that in a minute. Big up to you, I am Titanium. Thanks for coming in here, buddy. And same to you, Warren. Thanks for coming in here, pal. Hi, Steve. Yeah. So let's move on and get into this. And this, Bees versus Villa, EFL Cup third round preview. Well, I'll just be doing there's one other thing quickly. I'll be doing something about the Bees. And before I get into that, and that's this. Analysis: Brentford's the Premier League's leading throwing specialists, and leading long throwing specialists, I should say. Probing long throw in from Kevin Sharder helped Brentford earn a point against Chelsea on Saturday. The Bees are the Premier League's leading throwing specialists. Of the 24 top-flight goals scored on throw-ins since the start of last season, the West Londoners have scored 7. Those in the know say long throws are back in vogue. Exactly. The Dave Challengers of the world are back. The Rory Delaps, all back in. And Brentford left it fashionably late to showcase their expertise in an entertaining 2-2 draw with Chelsea at GTEC Community Stadium on Saturday. Trailing 2-1 to their West London rivals deep into stoppage time, the Bees kept the faith and a probing long throw-in from Kevin Sharder caused chaos in the Blues area. Substitute Fabio Carvalho ghosting onto a Christopher Ayer flick to earn the hosts a point. And by the way, Ayer wasn't offside. People keep trying to say that they think he was offside. Ayer, he wasn't when he flicked that on. Okay? Let's clear that up. He wasn't offside. Prior to the game, Brentford head coach Keith Andrews touched upon the carnage his side's throws can cause. And Carvalho's equaliser followed a trend that traces back to the Irishman's former stint as set-piece coach. Since the start of last season, the stats are clear. Brentford are the Premier League's leading throw specialists. In fact, of the 24 top-flight goals scored from throw-ins since the start of last season, Brentford has scored 7 of them, 29%. The Bees' prowess underlined by no other Premier League team managing more than 2 during this time. Brentford's output isn't down to luck either, as they have created a whopping 48 chances from throw-ins since the start of 24-25. And according to their XG data, should have scored 7.2 expected goals from them. As Chelsea manager Enzo Maresca lamented afterwards, Brentford had multiple threats in this regard with Michael Chiodi, Sharder, Matthias Jensen and Ethan Pinnock, all capable of hurling in projectiles from the sideline. Sharder's timely late assist on the touchline followed the Germans' well-taken opening goal, courtesy of a sensational Jordan Henderson pass. It definitely was. Great ball from Henderson. Brilliant. Which had given Brentford a 1-0 lead at the interval. A 50th career goal for Chelsea sub Cole Palmer and a bullet of a strike from Moises Caicedo turned the game on its head. But the Bees stuck to their task and Carvalho's 93rd minute strike was just reward. Chelsea are among the leading clubs in the top tier in terms of possession, and Maresca's side dominated 67% of the ball and fired in 16 shots to their host 7. However, Brentford's defensive resilience during Andrews' tenure has been allied with efficiency in the final third, and it was telling that the Bees' 1.5 XG created more expected goals than the visitors, 1.28 XG. The Bees pride themselves on creating high-quality chances and currently no team in the Premier League has a higher XG per shot value than the Bees, 0.16. In addition to their set-piece strengths, Andrews' side are a threat in transition, and Shardy's goal was a perfect example. The lively forward latching onto an inch-perfect pass from Henderson before driving into the area and dispatching a low-effort pass to Robert Sanchez in the Chelsea goal. No Ajax player completed more key passes than Henderson in the Eredivisie last season, and his assist for Shardy's goal was one of 5 accurate long balls pinged by the England international against Chelsea. The 35-year-old's quality on the ball was coupled with tenacity. No Beast player won more tackles, and Henderson's influence in the middle of the park will not have escaped the attention of onlooking England manager Tuchel. Yeah, they had to settle for a point, but Brentford's dead ball expertise and resilience bode well at this early stage of the season. And head coach Andrews will hope that his side can harness the many positives on show against Chelsea and carry them into the Carabao Cup against Villa on Tuesday. Yes, tomorrow, of course. And that's why I'm going to do the preview now. But that's very interesting to talk about that. They've got a lot of long throws. We know that. So, yeah, amazing. And, it's a big weapon for us, that long throw now. So we're going to keep using it. Right, so this is the preview. Brentford versus Aston Villa, prediction, team news and lineups. Match preview. Brentford recorded a superb 24-25 Premier League campaign, finishing 10th in the standings with 56 points from their 38 games after securing 16 wins, 8 draws and 14 defeats. While the Bees would have been hopeful of building on that result this season, Brentford endured a challenging summer that left many people expecting them to struggle during this campaign. Key figures Thomas Frank, Johan Visser, Brian Bramo and Christian Norgard all left the club, while Brentford appointed Keith Andrews as the new boss in what is his first senior managerial role. The Bees have gone to have a mixed start in the 25-26 campaign, losing 2, drawing 1 and winning 1 of their 4 Premier League games. Though they have shown plenty, only 1. It should have been 2, let's be honest, against Chelsea. Anyway, could have been against Sunderland, so it could have been 3. But there we go. It wasn't to be. Though they have shown plenty of encouraging signs in those matches, including recording a dramatic 2-2 draw with Chelsea, thanks to a 93rd minute equaliser from Fabio Carvalho. Brentford did also defeat Premier League opposition in their first match in the EFL Cup with goals from Igor Thiago and Carvalho, helping the Bees secure a 2-0 win over Bournemouth in their second round meeting. Now drawn against another top-flight side in the third round, Brentford will be aiming to replicate their 1-0 win over Aston Villa on match day 2 of the Premier League season, a game which saw debutant Dango Ouattara net the winner. That was one of a string of poor results for Aston Villa at the start of the new campaign. Now the Villains will still searching for their first win after 2 draws and 2 defeats. Particularly remarkable is Aston Villa's faltering form in front of goal, as Unai Emery's side remain the only team in England's top 7 divisions yet to score in 25-26, recording 0-0, 1-0, 3-0 and 0-0 results in their first 4 fixtures. Emery will be desperate for his side to end both their search for a goal and win when they take on Brentford, but their record at G-Tech is far from favourable. Aston Villa won only 2 of their last 8 trips to the G-Tech Community Stadium, alongside 1 draw and 5 defeats, including the 1-0 loss earlier this term. The Villains also have a rather lacklustre recent record in this competition, having only progressed past the third round on 2 occasions in the last 5 seasons. Since suffering a 2-1 defeat to Man City in the 2019-20 EFL Cup final, Aston Villa have reached the 4th round just twice, suffering third round eliminations in the other 3 campaigns. leaving history stacking against them heading into this one. The Brentford EFL Cup form, of course, won that game in against Bournemouth, of course, 2-0. Brentford formal competitions, drawn, lost, 1-1, lost. Aston Villa formal competitions, drawn, lost, drawn. Andrews named a heavily rotated side for Brentford's second round clash with Bournemouth, handing starts to the likes of Hakon Valdemarson, Christopher Ayer, Aaron Hickey and Rico Henry. And a similarly changed team is expected on Tuesday. Mikael Damsgaard could return to the starting lineup after missing the 2-2 draw with Chelsea due to illness, potentially starting behind an attacking duo of Carvalho and Kevin Schade. In defence, Ethan Pinnock may keep his place in the starting team after starting against Chelsea, and in the EFL Cup second round, anticipated to partner Ayer and Sepp Vandenberg, with Valdemarson starting in goal. As for Aston Villa, Amadou Onana, Andres Garcia, Boubacar Kamara and Ross Barkley are all unlikely to feature due to injury and availability issues, while Luca Digne may be rested after sustaining a head injury in their recent draw with Everton. New signings Harvey Elliott and Jadon Sancho could be handed their full debuts against Brentford, with Emery hoping their introduction will spark Villa's faltering attack into life. Victor Lindelof could also be handed a first start for the club in defence, potentially featuring alongside Ian Matson, Paul Torres and Matty Cash. The Brentford possible starting lineup: Valdemarson, Ayer, Vandenberg, Pinnock, Hickey, Onyeka, Jensen, Henry, Damsgaard, Schade and Carvalho. I'd like that. I think that's good. I actually like that lineup. That's brilliant. I'd love that. That'd be fantastic. And I think that does more up front. We wouldn't have, not that I think Thiago's a shit player, but I just don't think he's quite as quick, athletic enough as them two are, Schade and Carvalho. More pace, a bit more trickery about them, shorter. And I think Thiago's a good player, but if you want somebody quick and dynamic, those two really are. So for me, those two up front, Schade and Carvalho, and Damsgaard definitely back for me. Definitely need his ability there, passing ability and everything else, trickery. Along with Jensen, of course, who was really good, I thought, the other day at times, very good against Chelsea. Onyeka provides something extra as well. Henry going forward as well with the pace and stuff. Hickey also, both go forward well. Pinnock, Vandenberg, I think that's very good at the back. I like that. Valdemarson definitely in goal. No Kelleher. Let's go to Valdemarson again. He was great against Bournemouth. So for me, that would be the lineup. Aston Villa possible starting lineup: Bizzo, Cash, Lindelof, Torres, Matson, Bogard, Tielemans, McGinn, Elliott, Sancho and Marlon. Well, that's a good lineup, and that'd be a dangerous one, I think. Hard for us. I don't think this would be as easy for us as it was in the league. And they want to score goals. They want to get back and, to getting goals and things, But I still think we might just edge it. I do. I mean, the Sports Mole here saying they're saying Brentford 2-0 against Aston Villa. Brentford will be full of confidence given their dramatic comeback against Chelsea and earlier victory against Aston Villa this season. While the Villains are sure to be lacking belief after their miserable start to the campaign. Alongside Brentford's strong home record against Aston Villa, we expect the Bees to secure the victory on Tuesday, as well as extending Villa's goalless starts the campaign. So that's our predictions, and I'm going to say 2-1. I just think Villa will score this time. I can't see us not conceding. I mean, we should have done better against Chelsea, and could have not conceded, but 2 great goals. Let's put it that way. There were 2 great goals, Cole Palmer and Caicedo, 2 magnificent goals. Nothing Kelleher could do. But they are finding it hard to score, Villa. But I still think they will get one at least. That's what I'm hoping it'll be 2-1. I just feel we still should be have enough at the back. And with that attacking 2 at the front, Shardo, Carvalho, Damsgaard and stuff in behind Jensen, Onyeka. I think that's good enough to maybe get a win. And I'm going to bring my guest on to chat about that before we go into the other games as well. We'll talk about this briefly. And Warren's going 2-0 Bees as well. It could be. But I just think Villa might score this time. It's possible because, I don't know if Watkins will be there, but if that's saying that they're going without him playing there, it might not be. But I think they've got good attack there with, that Marlon and Sancho maybe. Elliott is quality as well. Tielemans, McGinn, they've got a lot there going forward. So, yeah, maybe 2-1. I'll bring my guest on and he'll see what he thinks about it, his opinion. Be up to you, Manny. Hope you're well, sir.
Yeah, pretty good. Thank you, Steve. Thank you, sir, for hosting this. And, you know what? I'm really happy you read that article in the beginning about the success of the long throws. It just goes to show that even as the years go by, there are always going to be room for the, old school, strong arm, bulldozing tactics, and a long throw, brilliantly executed. It's an absolute weapon, and you lot can definitely use that to your advantage. And, you were good value for the draw against Chelsea. You gave the world champions a bit of a humbling. Be proud of yourselves.
Yeah, we are. We are proud. Yeah. But could have won it, really. But there we go. We settled for the point. Nothing we could do about those 2 goals. 2 fantastic goals, Caicedo and Palmer. Nothing we could do with them. So that's it. We move on. And this one, Villa again.
Absolutely.
Back to Villa again.
Yeah. And it's interesting that the probable lineups have been mentioned. Obviously, you've spoken about your possible lineup, and it's wonderful to see Pinnock and Hickey still continuing their recovery and trying to come back. And Hickey and Henry, I should say, and then Damsgaard, of course. Shada and Carvalho, if you do start them, I think that's a sign that you are definitely serious about going for a win. As far as the starting lineup for the Villains are concerned, I think Marco Bizzo, if he starts, will definitely want to prove that he's no bozo. I mean, he did play very well in the opening game of the season against Newcastle, making a few decent saves in the first half and keeping a clean sheet. But against Crystal Palace, I think he was pretty poor. And when Emi Martinez came back against Everton, it was sort of said that was really why you bring him back. Had a very good game, of course. Some important saves from Beto and Michael Keane. But if Bizzo has to play so that Martinez gets a rest, then so be it. Matthew Cash at right back is really a sign that Villa don't really have that many options at right back. They had a chap named Nedeljkovic who they sent on loan. I don't know if he's still in the squad. Lamad Boghada has also, deputized at right back. What I really would like to see is someone like Ezri Konsa being asked to perform a role there, because I just think that, although Cash going forward is outstanding, defensively, as has been proved, he is a major, major liability. And it's proved this season, and also proved last season with that ridiculous back pass when your defense is playing a high line. I keep saying it, Steve, it's defending 101. You do not play a back pass when your defense is playing a high line. Lindelof has, of course, recently come in from Manchester United. And Pau Torres, an excellent ball-playing centre-back, but doesn't really have the... he's definitely not the typical old-fashioned English-style centre-half that Tyrone Mings is, or Ezri Konsa to an extent, for that matter. Maatsen coming in is a necessity if Digne did sustain an injury on his return to his old club, if not his old stomping ground. I believe they are now at Bramley Dock. Then so be it. Lamar Bojada will probably partner Yuri Tielemans, and Tielemans may be a bit of a worry because, as you can see, like McGinn and one or two others, he pretty much plays most of their games, and there is talk about how he may need a bit of a rest. But I do like the fact that they've gone for, the predicted lineup, they've gone for Elliott, Sancho, and Daniel Marlon. None of these, obviously, Elliott and Sancho was signed very recently in the transfer window. Marlon came in sometime in January, I think, of this year. And he hardly ever gets any minutes. So this is going to be an opportunity for these three to prove that they deserve to get some game time. And, I really rate Harvey Elliott as a quality player. He's proved his worth with Liverpool and also with the England youth teams. Sancho is a bit of a talent, but we will have to see if he'll be focused. I will say, though, that with another member of Manchester United's bomb squad, Marcus Rashford, having done brilliantly at Aston Villa last season under Emery's tutelage, I think it's fair to say that Emery will have a knack of being able to get the best out of, these wayward talents, and rightly so. Personally, I'm not too sure I'd start Matthew Cash, but I'm not too sure what other options are there. So I really do worry about a new centre-back pairing. And that's why I actually might end up predicting that you could win, because, this defense doesn't really fill me with much confidence. I'm speaking as a neutral, or even if I were an Arsenal fan. And, with the momentum that you've been able to get with your performances, I'm sure you'll have a really good chance of doing quite well. Interestingly, also, there's no room in the Brentford side for a certain Reece Nelson. Will he come off the bench? I don't know.
Maybe.
But
football tactics always go in cycles. What is interesting for me is the language in use these days.
Good point there from Warren. And, some tactics you think may end up going out of style for a few years, end up being brought back. And, as Warren will agree, there are lies, damned lies, and stats. So I don't go by stats. I don't like players who are stat padders. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm going to actually predict a Brentford win. It could be tight, though, because I'd like to think that with a freshened front line, there will be some goals. I'm going to sort of go slightly on the fence and say it'll finish 2-2 after time.
Not again, man. You predicted that before, haven't you? And it's been 2-2. Yeah, the Chelsea one. You predicted
but
that.
But then here's the thing. After normal time, it goes to penalties, and then Brentford should win.
Well, yeah. We have done it before, but you can't say we're going to keep doing it. And we've had the proper penalty takers like Bramo and whatever. Of course, we ain't got him anymore. So, as we say, I wouldn't let Shard.
But listen, Steve, you dodged a bullet because he missed that penalty that saw United get knocked out. Remember?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Against Grimsby, yeah, true. But I still think he's a good player. I always thought Bramo was a fantastic player for us. Whether we would take him back, I said about this the other day, would we take him back? And actually, we probably wouldn't, even though he's a great player. But the fact that he's gone to Man United and he wanted to go there, I thought, well, he don't want to play for us anymore, does he? So that's it. And we wouldn't want to take him back then. So
no, but here's the thing, Steve. One of the things which I always say about Manchester United is, in the situation that they are in, why anyone would want to go over there is literally beyond me. Obviously, after yesterday's dire derby defeat, they are now talks about whether or not Amorim might end up being sacked. So why anyone would consider going to a club in that sort of a situation, in that sort of flux, I don't know. And as I said last night on Orest's, review show, the match review show, if United had been able to win the Europa League, it would have given them a huge fillip, a huge some shot in the arm, some confidence. But I think they look depressed. They look unhappy. The players, the manager doesn't want to be there. And I just wonder if, like his fellow Portuguese, Nuno Santo, Amorim is actually trying to get sacked so that he can say that he doesn't want to be involved in this nonsense anymore.
Possible. It's possible, isn't it? I mean, that might be best for United in the long run that he goes and they get another better coaching that they should have had in the first place, maybe in a Xavi or something, Enrique or something like that, would be better.
They're not getting Enrique, but Xavi is definitely a good shout. Obviously, Xavi will remember the good old days when he played against much better Manchester United teams, and I think he might relish the challenge of being able to bring them back in. And his English is improving too.
Yeah. Well, that's good, isn't it? He's a great player. He was an excellent player, awesome player, and a great coach, I think, as well. So,
yeah,
I think could be the right fit there. But that's if they get rid of Amorim. They might just give him a few more games and see what happens, I suppose. You never know.
Well, they might have to. They might have to, but, any more losses and the curtain could fall. And there was also a story I read about the possibility of United raiding Aston Villa for Unai Emery to replace him.
Ooh, yeah.
Some of these journalists are a bunch of pot stirrers and rabble rousers. You can't trust them these days.
Well, he'd be a good one, buddy. I tell you, if they went for him, he'd be a great coach for them, Emery. If he wanted to leave,
though. I mean, why would he want to walk into that mess?
Exactly.
Even when he joined Aston Villa after Gerrard, was given his P45, Villa weren't as bad. And he helped them, recover very well.
Yeah. Anyway, mate, so we're confirming here you're going for a 2-2 and a penalties, yeah?
And Brentford to win on penalties.
Brentford's win on penalties. Right. And I'm going for 2-1 Brentford. So we're both going for Brentford, really. So, yeah. But as you went for 2-2 and it happened before, I don't know. Hopefully it won't happen again. Lightning don't strike twice, does it? Anyway. But anyway, let's move on. And I'm going to go on to, obviously, the Carabao Cup, other ones, matches, predictions here. And the other ones, we've only got a few to go through, actually, because there's obviously all European games this week. So a lot of the teams aren't playing in this, the Liverpool and Arsenal and whatever else. So Man City, they're all in that. So we've got this one, a big one for Grimsby again, Manny. What do you think will happen here in Sheffield Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, many of the people who think that Wednesday wouldn't like playing on a Tuesday, but they did knock out Leeds United in the previous round. So that's both of these teams having knocked out Premier League opposition via penalties. So the nice thing about having the penalty shootout after normal time is that it makes for some great excitement without having players overexert themselves. I wonder if they're going to adopt that for the FA Cup. I don't know. And Warren agrees with me. I'm glad he agrees when he says that no decent coach in his right mind will go to United. And I'm sure you'll agree with me, Warren, that Amorim should never have gone to United in the first place because a bird in the hand is always worth two in the bush.
But back to Sheffield. Arteta go there. He's not a decent manager, Arteta, so let him go there. But yeah.
And confirmation that Warren also predicted a win for the Bees, 2-0. As far as Sheffield Wednesday and Grimsby are concerned, well, Warren's gone for a 3-0. I'm not really too sure. I mean, maybe Warren has a better, grasp of the lower league teams than I do. And that is understandable because I obviously don't get any TV coverage of the lower leagues over here in my neck of the woods. Yeah. Maybe he feels that Grimsby played above themselves against Manchester United. They got their, that dream result, which will leave them in dreamland for some years on an end, but they can't repeat the trick against Sheffield Wednesday. But, both of these teams, Steve, as I said, they knocked out Premier League opposition on penalties. So they've got the spirit, both got the spirit, and they both got the heart. And obviously, I'm quite happy that Sheffield Wednesday are trying to recover and sort of fight their way back up. We all remember them as founding members of the Premiership back in the day.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be that one-sided. I'd like to go for, and the thing is also, I can't really, if I had to choose between one of the teams, I probably think that maybe Sheffield Wednesday would win, but I'm going to go for a 2-1. I think Grimsby will give them a really, really fine game. It's going to be very tight. Both teams are going to have a lot of heart, and it won't be as one-sided. Maybe Grimsby will probably feel as though they've made their headlines and they're happy with their lot, but I think they might want to give a good account of themselves. Maybe Sheffield Wednesday will just have that more experience. I don't know. So 2-1 to the Owls.
Well, yeah. The Owls could be, whatever you say, cooing. I don't know. Do they coo? Would you say it's a coo? It's not.
They hoot. They hoot. And,
hoot. Yeah.
Yeah, and that game should be a hoot and not.
It could be a hoot for the Owls. But, yeah. But I'm not. I'm going Grimsby, mate. I'm going them again. I'm going for the Mariners. I'm going for a shock. And will it be a shock? I mean, it was more of a shock against United. Well, was it a shock against United the way they're going? But I don't know. I mean, I'm going to go 2-1 Grimsby here for this one.
Okay.
I think they're going to do it again. I think they're going to do it again. Get us in the next round. We'll knock them out. I think that might happen. But I've been too confident there, mate. I think, but there we go. If we can get through against Villa, you never know. They might get us at the GTEC, mate, and that'd be them out. It happens a lot, yeah. But yeah, so we've gone for that. Right, let's move on to the next one, and we've had the repeat of this one. Remember the first time these two met? How can we forget what happened there?
Yeah.
Mateta can't forget, can he? Really?
Nobody likes Millwall. Nobody does.
No.
And they're up against the FA Cup winners. And what's going to be interesting about this game is the lineup that Glasner puts out, because I'd like to think that he's going to rest a lot of his starters and maybe have a fringe team of sorts. I see Warren's gone for a tight win. I can't see anything beyond a Crystal Palace win either, but I don't think it's going to be as tight as that. I'm confident to go for a 2-0 win. And I just don't, I mean, obviously Millwall may have quite a bit of the history, but they also do, not without reason, have a bit of a bad reputation. And I think Warren and a few others can confirm that. And clearly the way they played last season in the FA Cup, they did not endear themselves to many people at all. No, sir. So for me, it's the Eagles to fly high, 2-0.
Yeah, I hate Millwall, Mr. T. I can't stand them. And I know we played them a lot in the lower leagues, of course, with obviously the Championship. And I think even League One, I think we might have played them before. So, it's I hate that lot. They're a bunch of yobs. I can't stand them. And I really hope Palace do win this. And I think they should. And with Glasner there, I'm sure he'll get them through. And with the players they've still got are still very good players. And, Gahey, I don't know if he'll be in there. I don't think he played the other day, did he? He was left out. I don't know whether he'll come back. But, yeah, I think they should still have too much of Millwall. I'm actually going to go 3-0 Palace for this one.
Nice.
So the fans have a bad rep. The club don't. Well, true. But, yeah, I didn't think much of that goalie, though, what he done to Mateta. So you can say it's not just the club as well. But then I suppose they're not responsible for what that Pratt done, isn't it? Coming out and going mad like that out of his goal. But, it was terrible. And I'm sure they're going to get revenge. What would be revenge if Mateta gets a hat-trick? I think we would all love that, wouldn't we, to see that? So, but yeah,
Hakuna Mateta, no worries.
Yeah, Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he will be the pride of his club if he does that. But yeah, so let's move on from that one. And the last one we got is Swansea City, Nottingham Forest. I said there weren't many games, and this is the last one. So Swansea Forest. What do you think
Oh,
here?
nice. So what we have here is the Europa and Conference League teams playing because the Champions League will be starting a week before the other two competitions. I'm not too sure why that is. Make it make sense. And this is, of course, going to be Ange's, League Cup debut with Nottingham Forest. Obviously, he played in, he managed Spurs for 2 consecutive seasons. And last season, he actually made the semi-final and won the first leg, only for Liverpool to get their act together and make sure that that was as good as it got for them. And in his
Yeah, remember that. Yeah, that was terrible. Schumacher, yeah. He killed a French player, but the Germans weren't tarnished as thugs, were they? No. Exactly, they weren't. But, he should be. He should have been put away, I think, to be honest, because that guy's still suffering from that to this day, that French. Is it, what was his name now?
Battiston, yeah, Patrick Battiston. We might find out about him. We might find out about him more. Now, interestingly, after they got beaten by us 3-0, Ange Postecoglou said that he didn't really tweak the team that much prior to the game because obviously he only had one training session with the boys, and they still had a little bit of whiplash, obviously, from the events that took place before with Nuno getting sacked, and he's obviously going to try his best to start the process of impressing his ideas on them and seeing if they can do well. And he did say that, for this particular game, you'd start the Ange era at Forest would now effectively be starting. Of course, I believe Morato is injured. He got injured, of course, on that Saturday. The poor bloke, I think he pulled a hamstring or a quadricep muscle. I don't know which. And again, can he afford to, go with a second string team and see some of his fringe players? I'm not too sure. It will be interesting to see who out of John Victor or Angus Gunn will start if Matt Sells is given a rest. And apart from that, I'll be honest with you, I'm not too sure I can really predict a lineup. And Swansea, of course, were a Premiership team back in the day. And in fact, Swansea back in the day even won the League Cup under Laudrup, who was the manager then. And, that was really a huge shock. And, of course, they beat a Bradford City team that had shocked the tournament, beating all of those. No. That was a different Bradford team. But it was Bradford they beat in the final, I remember. But since then, of course, their fortunes have not been kind to them. And now they're also trying, like their fellow Welsh side Cardiff City, to come back into the big picture.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Forest take this quite seriously. I see Warren's gone for a 2-2 draw between the Swans and the Tree Men, but I think Forest will have the yeah. I'm not too sure who he predicts will win the penalty shootout. But I'd like to think that Forest will win this without going into penalties. It might be a little bit tight, but it won't be, Tamworth level struggle that they had last season. 2-1 to Forest. And cup ties are always sticky affairs, especially if you're going to the opponent's ground and the opponents happen to be from a lower league. But Forest to pip the Swans 2-1.
Yeah, it depends what team he plays here, Big Ange. I mean, they should have too much for Swansea, you would think. Even if they put a second team out, I think they'll have loads. Think of all the players they've signed. They just signed. They probably put Hutchinson in and players like that in now for this one. So, I'm actually going to go. I'm going to do a fairly biggish result. I'm going to go 3-1 Forest for this one.
Ooh, nice.
I just think.
Very nice.
Swansea, yeah, they're not that bad, and they've done so well to get to this round and everything. So I think they're a good team still, but I just think Forest should have too much. They should have, and this should be an easy one for Ange. after that Arsenal one, which was a eye-opener for him there. So
yeah, listen, cup ties, Steve, are seldom easy, and even if they are, you never take them for granted. So I don't think Forest will show Swansea too much respect, but they will be committed to doing well.
I just think it's slightly easier opposition than you get when you're playing another Premier team, as we all know. So I just think he might have it a bit slightly easier, but not much, but a bit. And I think that's going to give him enough breathing space. And if they get through here, have a good cut run, you never know. So, but yeah, anyway, let's move on. And we're going to go into the Champions League now, which is starting tomorrow, as we know. It's all starting. And the league phase, of course, which is that UCL league phase match day 1. All the English clubs. I'm not doing the whole lot. All the other things, it's just the English clubs. So, and of course, that one, your one, Manny, to start with, Athletic versus Arsenal.
You are too kind, aren't you? Well, obviously, we played Athletic Bilbao in the pre-season, and we pretty much gave them an absolute hiding, it has to be said. And we made them look like amateurs, really. But since then, of course, at the start of this season, the Athletic Club are now 4th in La Liga, and they have a record of played 4, won 3, and lost 1. So they're not doing too badly. They're actually 3rd. I stand. Yeah, they're 4th. Actually, they're 4th. I stand corrected. And they did recently, of course, lose to Alaves. Had they won, they would have stayed within touching distance of the top of the table. An Alex Berenguer own goal. And of course, the important players that they have include Unai Simon, the goalkeeper, Iñaki and Nico Williams. I think they're brothers, of course. It looks as though Nico may be injured and unavailable. And Danny Vivian is another one. Aito Paredes, they're both central defenders. Orhan Sanchez is the number 10, who wears number 8, make sense, but the central attacking midfielder, as it were. And they do have a decent team, and they seem to be doing quite well. But we really should be a little bit too strong for them. And they were in the headlines quite recently with a chap named Yere Alvarez being given a 10-month ban for, testing positive for an illegal substance, which was found in a medicine used to prevent alopecia, of all things. But they have also recently signed the very experienced Emerick Laporte, who, of course, played for Manchester City and also moved to the Saudi League, but has now gone back to Spain. Laporte is actually a Frenchman who plays for Spain, just like Robin Lenormand. And as far as we're concerned, obviously, I think Warren has gone for a goalless draw. And we're going into this, obviously, off the back of quite a few injuries. I think Odegaard injured his shoulder, of course, against Forest. I don't know if he'll be available. Saka and Saliba won't be available, so it will be a slightly patched-up team. But we do have an opportunity to show how good the fringe players are. I was especially impressed with Noni Madueke, the way he played, even if, although he didn't quite have that much in terms of, a decent shot or an end product, as people say, his role was to put the left back off balance. And with Forest playing a makeshift left back, he did that perfectly. How he does against Bilbao's left back will remain to be seen. But for greater strength, I would like to see Madueke on the left and Nwaneri on the right. And then Eze starting in the 10 with Gyökeres on his own up front. And then the rest will be, as they were, with Mosquera coming in. I thought Mosquera obviously looks very solid. He definitely looks the part. Calafiori to start at left back. And, as you were. And I'd like to think that we need, if we start well and make a marker and leave a mark, it will, help us further in the competition. And these are the games where we need to assert our dominance and win. Now, as far as dominance is concerned, I'm not too sure if we will be dominant per se, but we should win. I'm going for 2-1 to the Arsenal.
So fairly tight, close, but a 2-1.
Reasonably close because Bilbao won't play as badly as they did against us in pre-season.
So you'll have Kepa in goal, do you reckon?
No, if it were the League Cup, I'd have Kepa in goal, but Raya has to start. And you know that I'm not a very big fan of him. And listen, Warren, it's not a question of being carried away by 2 good performances against opposition that weren't really up to the level. I do understand your concern. I'm just saying that, we've started okay, and I would like to see how far it goes. And I'm not going to go so far to, say that Madueke is the answer because he still has a lot of issues with his game, and I wasn't too keen on having him. But he played his part against. Okay, all I can say is that I really do. I understand where you're coming from, and I understand your concerns. I think that we're going to try and do as well as we can in this game. Maybe try and leave a mark. At least start off with a win and see how far we go from there. So as I said, 2-1, and Raya will start and goal. No questions.
Yeah, well, as you say, if you do have Kepa in goal, I think it could be a disaster. But I still think with Raya sometimes you can still have a disaster because he could still be a bozo in goal at times. We know he can. He makes great saves as well, but he still have those stupid things, dumb decisions he does, coming way off his line and this and that. So you just never know with him. So both could be in the relegation zone or close to it. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah. Well, if they get like Man United, they could. But yeah, I think I think you should have a lot there enough. I mean, as you say, that Mascara was. I know I call him Mascara, but he was good the other day, and looks a very good player, to be honest. But yeah, I think you still have Gabriel, wouldn't you? Probably Timber, I guess, Calafiore, that sort of thing there. Obviously, as we know, Odegaard is out as usual. He's must have brittle bones or something. Bloody his shoulder again or whatever. His arm keeps doing it. Can't take it. I don't know if Norgard will be back. That'd be good to see him playing in the game. That'd be brilliant. Eze maybe. I don't know if he'll play him again. Trossard. I'm sure you might make a few changes there. Trossard, I would think, may come in. Marino probably again. I think you should rest Bryce, to be honest. I think you should. You play him too much. I know it's an important game in a way, but I think you still have enough without him there. And you could put in something like who's the other one the other day you had come on? Wanyeri or something like that. Just somebody. I know he's only a youngster still, but he's a very good player. And
I get what you're saying, but we did rest Rice against Forest, and obviously it proved to be, it didn't affect us very much. But, for the big games, obviously, especially if you're playing in Europe, you do need Rice. And he and Zubimendi should work well together. And Marino can always come off the bench and, poach a goal if we need it. I like your idea of maybe having Trossard start. That could be interesting. The frustrating thing is that for many years, people have said that he plays better as an impact sub than a starter. And he hasn't done very much to dispel that narrative. So, we'll see how that goes. I will actually be going on Danny AFC TV an hour before the game to talk a little bit about that and possibly have, just my say. And then, of course, we have the watch along, and I will be along with him. So,
we've also got MLS as well there to bring in. Could put him in.
I wouldn't start him. No, he comes off the bench. He's getting found out as a left back, Steve, and why Tuchel still picks him, I will never know.
Well, yeah,
it was a disaster against Senegal, mind you.
He's not a left back, is he? Let's be honest. He never has been. I think he's just left-sided midfielder. I would say he's not a left back. So no way. Why they put him there? I just don't know why they keep playing him there. Not right, but still. At least you got rid of old Binchenko, haven't you? Well, he's on loan still, I think. He's on loan at Forest, so at least he's not there.
Yeah, and he could actually play against Swansea for them. I think that might be his debut for the club. So the problem with Trossard is the clown doesn't play him very much. And, yep, that's also a fair point. Very true.
Yeah, I thought we was going to get him. To be honest, I would love that, Manny. If we got Trossard, he would have played here for all the time. I think would have played.
No, absolutely, you would have deserved him. He would have thrived with you lot, and you would have enjoyed it. But it is what it is. It is what it is, guys.
I don't know why that fell through in the end. I don't know what happened there. Whether they just decided he wanted to stay or wanted to keep him or what. But we were very interested in getting him, and for some reason it didn't happen. But yeah. Anyway, let's move on, and we get on to the next one, which is this one: Spurs and Villarreal. I'm sure you'll be very interested in this one, Eugene. What happens here?
Yep.
And what do you think? What do you think will happen with this one?
This will be very interesting because we played Villarreal in pre-season. I'll tell you what, Steve, we looked awful against them. I mean, they cooked us, especially our ex-guy, Nicola Pepe, who scored the first goal. And then rubbing salt into the wounds was a certain Arnaud Danjuma, who played at who played at Spurs for about a season. And he scored the third against us. So he gets a nice return to the Tottenham Stadium. And listen, Warren, I'm pretty certain that it's a season-long loan deal, and Arteta has pretty much made it clear that, with Calafiori and Lewis Skelly and maybe one or two other options from the youth team, they may be covered. So why would he want to bring back Zinchenko? And I get what you're saying. A similar thing happened with Martin Dubravka when he joined Manchester United from Newcastle. He played a couple of games with them, but then Eddie Howe yanked him back. And because he was therefore cup tied for that competition, he couldn't play after Nick Pope got sent off in the final. It was Loris Karius who played, he of that dreadful Champions League final against Real Madrid. But as far as Zinchenko is concerned, I think Arteta has made it crystal clear that, he wants him to spend the season loan away. And there may be injuries, but again, I'm pretty certain that Arteta will work to have his bases covered.
Anyway, get back to this, brother T. What do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, so obviously, the squad has been slightly trimmed down. There's no Fraser Forster, there's no Alfie Whiteman, so those are the three goalkeepers, obviously. They've secured Kevin Danso and Mathis Tell. They've also brought in Kudus and Xavi Simons. And so there's been so much talk about how your ex-manager has gone over there and made them a little bit more organized and made them much tougher to beat. And the Spurs fans are now purring over him, saying, yes, we've got a proper manager. We no longer have that useless see you next Tuesday who couldn't manage his way out of a paper bag. And again, I say to those people, be careful what you wish for. If you think he's such a good manager, then we'll see how well he does in his first season. And well, if Arteta needs to recall him, then, he will recall him. But I'm pretty certain that if it is meant to be for a season-long loan deal, then in almost all of those cases, the player cannot be recalled under any circumstances. But if it does get to that point, then, they'll have to do what they have to do. That's all that can be said. And
it's going 1-1 for this one.
Yeah. I don't know if that would necessarily be the case, because I'm just going to take a look at how Villarreal are doing in the table. And actually, they're not doing too bad either. They are fifth in the league. They're fifth in the league right now with 2 wins, a draw and a loss, so 2 points behind Athletic Club de Bilbao. And they also have been working really well to, try and improve their squad. Of course, their last game was a defeat to Atletico Madrid. And Obviously, the Canadian Tajon Buchanan, who plays on the right wing, will be an important player. Nicola Pepe, I've already mentioned. Thomas Partey, of course, will be going back to North London. That will be interesting indeed. He wears 16.
Yeah.
And,
and not a smooth criminal either. A bad criminal.
I really don't want to speak that much about him, but I want to wait until all the legalities are taken care of, and then we'll see what happens. But I see Warren's gone for a 1-1 draw.
Yeah,
I think Villarreal are going to come into this off the back of a pretty poor defeat, and Dani Parejo, their captain, is also another important player. The Georgian Mikatadze, the number 9, is one of their strikers when they play in a 4-4-2. Nicola Pepe up front, if that happens. And this is going to be quite interesting in many, many ways. I'd like to see Spurs. I mean, I don't like to see them. I mean, obviously, I can't say I like them, but I do think Spurs are going to be very organised, and they'll probably have the better of this. I'm going for a 2-1 win.
Oh, by the way, for your match, I'm going 1-1. I didn't say a prediction. I'm going 1-1 for your one.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Bilbao and Arsenal. But this one, what do you think about this, Manny? They could play Gyökeres at left back, didn't they?
Only Arteta.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you want to be pedantic, Aubameyang was used as a left wing back, which was no real better. And I'll tell you what, I wouldn't put it past him to do that. I wouldn't even be surprised if he decides to play Trossard at left back or someone else for that matter. But it is what it is. I mean, with Arteta, you're going to get some harebrained thing, and you throw that bloke into the River Thames, he'll come out with a trout in his mouth. He's that lucky sod. But your former manager making his Champions League debut, I think he'll come out with a win. And I wonder if you'll be tuning in to see how well he does in European competition.
Actually, Manny, I'm going for a 2-2 here for this one.
Ooh.
I think Villarreal got quite a bit up front, as well. You see the likes of Pepe, of course. We all know about him and how your clown manager ruined him at Arsenal. And he's under a better manager now, a proper manager. And we'll get him playing. He scored against you lot, don't forget, as well, didn't he?
Yes, I mentioned that. And I want to say, it was classy of him not to, celebrate when he scored against us in a way. But I'm sure Warren will agree. Will probably say that Pepe should definitely have, celebrated when he scored against us in pre-season. I think the fact that it was pre-season means that, this is a nice one. He could go into the Sahara Desert and find himself a Magnum ice cream. I was more of a Cornetto fan growing up, mind you.
No, as long as it's not Magnum PI, it'd be all right. But yeah, I used to love that show, Magnum. Oh, brilliant show.
Yeah,
right, I didn't like the remake, the reboot thing. I didn't like that as much. But Tom said it superb, wasn't he? As Magnum. But let's get back to this anyway. Talk about all our yesterdays, but we'll get back to this. But I think a 2-2 somehow, because I just think they got a lot there. That Buchanan, he's a good player, and Mikatadze, we were after him apparently. Mikatadze at one stage. Perez has been over here, done well over here, I think, at some stage. So I think they've got a lot there, and their midfield is pretty good as well. Don't know much about their keepers. What defence is fairly solid, but then again, if I said 2-2, who knows? But I mean, goalies, I don't know about the goalies as much there. They got 4 goalkeepers, so I suppose Luis Jr. is their number one. I take it. I don't know.
Yeah, Luis Jr. They've also got Adnan Tenas, who was on PSG's books, and Tenas was also the Spain goalkeeper that won the Olympic gold medal in Paris.
Yeah, good keepers then. Got some good quality keepers. That's for sure. But getting back to the Spurs one, do you think they would put us? Would they stick with Vicario or go with Kinski for this one? Or
has to be Vicario. I mean, he's the Europa League winning goalkeeper. Kinski was also axed from the Europa League squad for the final stages for different reasons. It has to be Vicario.
Be up, Mel. Be up to you then.
Hi, Mel.
Yeah, good to see you in here. Dirty Harry was the best. Always got the Man U end of the stick. Yeah. Old Clint Eastwood. Yeah. Do you feel lucky, punk? Well, do you feel lucky? Yeah. Yeah, but anyway, let's get back to this. And I think, as you say, Vicario, will they go with somebody like you, Doggy, at the back, or Spence again, Davis, or will they keep the same?
I don't know if Udogie is injured. I mean, if he's fit, you've got to think that he'll be the first choice left back. But obviously, Spence has come on leaps and bounds under Ange, and now under Frank, he seems to be playing a lot. But I think it'll probably be as you were, Perro on the right, Udogie on the left, and then it should really be Romero and Van der Ven starting, but then Danzo can also come into the picture. We'll see what sort of lineup is put out.
Yeah, and obviously midfield, they've got a big choice as well, of course. Palhinha is a very good player. I like him. Xavi Simmons, quality. I still think Archie Gray's very good. Bergvall was brilliant the other day, I thought, for them.
Yeah.
Kudus,
both these teams like to play the 4-2-3-1 formation, so it'll be very interesting to see if they both adopt that tomorrow. I know that, the Spanish league is the best in Europe. It's not a farmers' league by any means. You're absolutely right, Warren. Although you do, even if you do, for the most of part, see Barcelona, Real Madrid challenging, every now and then you'll see a different champion. It could be Atletico Madrid. It could have been Valencia back in the day under Rafa Benitez. You have a point there. Back to the game, it'll be interesting to see if both teams adopt a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. I don't know if maybe Frank might decide to go for a 4-3-3 to give provide a little bit more width as such. So again, it'll remain to be seen what he does. He might have to play.
Will Moroni play?
Oh yes, Carlo Moroni, another person with European international heritage. A good acquisition, definitely. He has to come to the picture, I think, definitely.
Yeah, why not? I mean, he's quality, isn't he? I mean, he's great at PSG, wasn't he? So he played well there.
Very nearly won his team the World Cup, mind you.
Yeah, true. But yeah, I think they've got quite. I mean, Solanke isn't doing as well. I mean, Richarlison is doing well at the moment. I've got to admit, doing well there. Brenda Johnson. Does he still call him Brenda, Eugene? Now? Does he still call him Brenda or not?
Yeah, he still does. For what it's worth, Johnson and Solanke were Spurs' top scorers last season, and they each scored 5 goals in that Europa League run. So I'm not too sure why they get that much hate. Maybe a lot more was expected of them given the money that was paid for them. I'm not too sure. I think Solanke's injured now, so this will be a worrying season for him. It could very well be that he might end up securing a loan deal just like Yves Bissouma did. But Johnson is still important, and I think he will get some games. And, if Frank decides that he wants to keep Solanke and also does rate him very well, then maybe we'll see some action. But, we don't know. And you can take a look at the squad that they have. There's some good quality there, no doubt about it.
There is. It definitely is. I mean, he's got more to pick from here than he had at Brentford, which is saying something, I mean, we had a good team. We've got a good team, but nothing like this, I'm afraid. Nothing like this. But he's got a lot to do there. He's got a lot to play with. But it's his first go at the Champions League for Thomas. So I hope he does well. But I think this is going to be a 2-2 for me, this one.
Okay.
But, yeah. So let's move on, and we go to, I think it's Wednesday, the next game, and Bayern and Chelsea. About that one.
Oh, that's going to be tasty. A repeat of that infamous 2012 final that Bayern were expected to win on their home turf, but Chelsea ended up winning, infamously knocking Spurs out of the group stages of the Champions League in the process.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, this Chelsea team, as you proved, still have a little bit of a soft centre. And, it's also going to be interesting to see if ice-cold Palmer does start the game. I think Company obviously has them playing reasonably solidly well. They haven't really made too many mistakes as far as I can tell. And if we just... and they're still going to be the team that's expected to win the Bundesliga title, Bayern Munich. But I think I'd like to think that Chelsea have this knack of being able to do quite well when it comes to European or international competition. But in the Premiership, I think. I don't know if Maresca is necessarily getting found out. It could very well be the case. I definitely don't see Chelsea getting a win at the Allianz this time around. And Warren's in that light. He's obviously gone for a 2-0 win. And of course, as we see, Bayern have won all 3 of their games. They've got a 100% record, the only team to do so. And there's also the matter of Harry Kane playing for them up against Chelsea. Chelsea mop. It could be the case. But as far as the football is concerned, I think Warren and I agree that Munich will win. I think Chelsea might make it a little bit tighter, but it'll end up being a little bit more of a convincing. It'll be a convincing win. Bayern might just have a lot more of the possession. They probably won't score as many, but Chelsea won't really have that much in them to try to make the best of it. And, of course, Nicholas Jackson has joined Bayern, so that's going to add some intrigue. It'll be interesting to see if he starts the game against Chelsea. So, for me, I can't look beyond a Bayern win either, but I'm going for a 2-1 scoreline. It'll be an entertaining game. And, Chelsea do have European heritage, a better European heritage than we do. Cannot be denied.
And I think their squad, their team, and all that excites me more than Chelsea's. To be honest, I think though Chelsea have got good players. I think we were at times better than them the other day. I know they had to bring on the likes of Cole Palmer and Reece James to do stuff and get a point in the end where they could have really lost. So. They were so lucky there that we didn't beat them. So, I think they haven't really played at their best yet, Chelsea, anyway. They're still unbeaten, of course, in the Premier. So, their fans are a nightmare, yeah. But yeah, I think Bayern will have too much for them, I really do. I'm gonna go 3-1 Bayern for this one.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, I just think they got too much for them. And that really showed Chelsea up. And that might give them a wake-up call to be better than they are at the moment. So, that's what I'm going for. And let's move on to this one. Liverpool and Atletico Madrid. Well, about a team not playing well, Liverpool.
Tasty.
Still winning Liverpool, Manny, despite not playing well. They're doing well.
Yeah, but they are. But, and one thing I will say right now is that they deserve their luck. And, of course, when we talk of an Atletico Madrid team, you start to get the feeling that the team is in slight decline a little bit. Obviously, the glory days under Simeone are long gone, and several of their players are aging. You think of the likes of Oblak and Koke and Griezmann. They're still important players. They're still playing quite well, but it's very hard to see for how long they can actually continue. And there will be questions asked about all of them. Conor Gallagher's still there, very much a part of the squad. Liverpool, for any Arsenal fans who see it fit to mock Liverpool's luck so far this season should wind it in. Because whenever we've scored late goals to win games, these same fans have always hailed the fact that our team is, a champion team. We play badly, but then win. And now that Liverpool are doing the same thing, they see it fit to mock them. Liverpool have credit in the bank, and we don't. So our fans need to wind their neck in. But interestingly enough, it will be interesting to see what sort of tactics Slot uses, because if you've noticed, Steve, he's played Szoboszlai as the starting right back, and I'm not too sure if that's necessarily the best move. The only reason why I would think that is the case is because somehow he has to try and find a way to accommodate Florian Wirtz, and he also doesn't want to lose Szoboszlai's obvious talents, and we know about his obvious talents, that free kick. But once again, it's a question of having a fullback who can't really defend very well. And there are also questions being asked already about Milos Kerkez. Is he really the right fit? And, he was taken off after 38 minutes, and Andy Robertson, the old warhorse, had to be brought on. Scotland captain, of course, Warren.
Yeah.
I think if Slot thinks that he's going to use the same lineup as he did in the Premiership against Atletico Madrid and get away with it, he's got another thing coming. It could very well be that Wirtz and Szoboszlai will have to share some first-team action and have a bit of rotation. And there should probably be a proper defensive right-back playing there. I believe Joe Gomez is a criminally underrated right-back who hardly ever got the minutes under Jurgen Klopp, is not getting too many minutes under Arne Slot either. And it might be best for him and his career if he walks away, because lest you forget, he was also a part of the Euro 2024 squad, and he'll also want to try to force his way into Tommy Tuchel's good books. Another defender who can play on both sides of the flank, although I prefer Gomez on the right. And they are going to have to tighten up defensively as well. Still some questions asked about Van Dijk and Konate.
Definitely. They are dodgy still at the back. They are not great watertight still, I don't think. Yeah. They were lucky they had I think Burnley just didn't do enough up front. They've done all right coming up, Burnley. I think they've proved to be a very good, decent team to solid.
Yeah, they're going to need a striker who will score them goals, Steve. And they've got the South African Foster there, who I'm sure Hanno will like, but for some reason they're not scoring enough. I do believe that Liverpool will have enough for Atleti, though. I think Atleti are, starting slowly. And, when you're in a situation where some of your experienced players are just getting on a bit and not really able to, maintain that level, I think they're ripe for the picking, but they've got fight and they're going to fight it. I still think it's going to be 2-1 to Liverpool. I think they will. I think Slot will get his tactics right. He'll get the lineup right, and they'll play a lot more sensibly, I think, this time.
Is Isak going to play, Danny? Do you think?
I don't know if he's back to fitness, and Warren agrees with me on my scoreline. It'll depend on whether he's he's reached match fitness or not. But even if he's reached match fitness, I think the Champions League game would probably not be the best game to bring him in to the picture.
Could be the Merseyside derby. You might play in that instead.
That could be an option. Yes, that could be an option, definitely.
Yeah, but as you say, I think Liverpool should have too much here. Although Atletico, we know what a tough team they are. Of course, with Simeone, the manager, it's very tough. But I think they will just about nick it, as I'm going for the 2-1 as well. Liverpool. But yeah, a very good team. But we know Atletico, so it's not going to be a walk in the park. It's not going to be easy. But I think they will just about do it. Liverpool 2-1. So, yep. So let's move on. And he hasn't played for ages. I doubt he will play for a few weeks. Well, I know he might come on he might play against Everton. He may get a debut there. It's possible. He's on about Isaac, obviously. But yeah, Man City, Napoli, Manny. How about this one? City with a comeback win again. Coming back to form with Haaland, 2 goals.
Yeah, well, if you obviously were there for Oris' review, and I think he will say that City weren't really, that convincing. It was that United played horribly and allowed them to score those goals. So, who are they playing? Napoli.
Napoli, yeah. Good team, Napoli.
Ah, beautiful.
McTominay, is he there? Napoli.
McTominay and Gilmore are both there, but it's also going to be a wonderful reunion for a certain Kevin De Bruyne.
Oh, yeah. Of course, yeah. Yeah.
Who, of course, left City to join Napoli at the end of last season. And Napoli are doing quite well in La Liga as we speak. And, clearly they're a team that's well on the up. And as far as City are concerned, we can't read too much into that derby win because, as we agree, United were just we're just not at it really.
And look who else is here as well, Napoli. Højlund got a hat-trick.
Yes. On loan from Manchester United. That could be absolutely tasty. Napoli, of course, like Juventus, have a 100% record in the league and doing quite well. They also, not too long ago, 2 weeks ago, had to have a 95th minute winner against Cagliari to sort of secure that win. But, the new players who've come in have certainly done very well and helped them start well. And I actually think that this City team still look as though they've got some kind of, how do I put it? I think there's a lot of, torpor in that team. They're still kind of slow in a way. And obviously the capture of Gigi Donnarumma has helped them a great deal.
It has,
but I really don't know if it's going to be that easy for them. And I'm actually going to go for a little bit of a shock and say that this will end in a Desmond. The reason why I say this is because, defensively, they're still quite a little bit weak. And there were a few occasions when, they were made to struggle by United in a way, especially near the end, close to the end, when even Mboma had a chance or two. I think with a class team like Napoli, they're going to look to take advantage of City's shakiness at the back. And they still just don't look quite the ruthless, marauding unit that they were from seasons gone by. I'm actually going to go for a draw here, 2-2. I think this is going to be a very exciting game. I think there are going to be a lot of chances and opportunities. Expect De Bruyne to weave his magic, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You know what? I think I might be going for a Desmond here as well, Manny. That's what I'm going to go for, I think. I don't think it's going to be a few goals. I mean, they're certainly not watertight at the back at the moment, City, I don't think. Even though, United didn't really give them enough pressure, enough chances against them. Apart from Bramo, who I thought was great again. Had 2 or 3 great shots and probably could have scored. But for Donnarumma, of course. But, I think Napoli are a very good team. I really do. And this is going to be really tough for City. But I think they've got enough with goals still, with Haaland back in form, of course. But I think Napoli will also score. So I'm going like you. I'm going for a Desmond. So, but yeah, let's move on. And we're going to go to the last one. And that's this one. Newcastle and Barcelona, Manny. What a game that should be.
Ooh, that's going to be fun. And this will be a really big test for Newcastle's new striker, Voltemade, who's come in to replace Isak. Yeah. And, you know, he obviously had a great start in the Premiership. But there's something about Newcastle, of course. This is the same team that lost to Burnley, of all teams. And I just think that this season around, starting off, Newcastle are just not quite that, you know, really efficient unit that Eddie Howe marshaled very well last season and the season before. They are starting to slip a little bit, and there is some talk about how they may not be able to quite manage the. I mean, I'm not too sure. I'm a bit tongue-tied at the moment, to be quite honest with you, Steve. It's difficult for me to get the thoughts out of my head. Oh. I think they're not quite as ruthless as they were in seasons gone by, and they also have a bit of a soft centre. Quite a few players also being frozen out a little bit, and Harry in the building, Honeygun, somewhere in a pub somewhere, you might be watching this game. You enjoy yourself, mate, and don't, as I always say, don't do anything that Steve or I wouldn't do. Yeah.
Are you sure you're old enough to drink, Harry? No, sorry, I shouldn't say that. But no, of course he is. But anyway, I know he's young, but not that young. So yeah, but what's that? F me, that's a first. What's that? What was that about? I say you might have said, Manny, I suppose. But
I don't know what I said.
Yeah.
But I think Steve's gone for a 3-0 win. I don't think it's going to be that one-sided, but I do think Barcelona will have a little bit too much for Newcastle, and I think Newcastle are going to now find in their second run at the Champions League cherry, there's not going to be quite as easy. And, you know, there are one or two players in that team who are getting on a little bit, the likes of Trippier and Byrne in the defence. They did sign Jacob Ramsey from Aston Villa, so Ramsey does get to play in the Champions League. Tonali will definitely be an important player, as will the likes of Joelinton and Guimaraes. And as I said, now they've got Voltemade. He will certainly be a big unit to aim for, especially from corners. I think this could be a very interesting game. I'd like to think Newcastle will give a good account of themselves, but Barcelona will just be too strong. So 3-1 to the Blaugrana. And well done. You're old enough to drink, of course. It was just a joke. We were just pulling your leg, mate. Don't worry about it. We know you're good. We know you're fine.
Just ribbing you, mate. But yeah. So yeah, I think I don't know. As you say, they're not really firing as such. They got a 1-0 win, Newcastle, and I think could they have done? But it was Wolves they beat, wasn't it? 1-0. So
yes, exactly. Wolves.
I really thought because Wolves are really looking poor and could be going down. And sorry to say that, mate, Jack. Sorry to say that, mate, wherever you are. But I think Wolves are in a lot of trouble. But yeah, I think they will lose this. I can't because Barcelona still a great team. We know that. Likes of what Szczesny, of course, there, Manny, yes. Still there. As a goalie. So you've got obviously a lot of other good players. Gavi, is that Pedri? De Jong didn't he not play for Newcastle? I think De Jong, I believe. Frankie De Jong played for Newcastle, did he not?
Frankie De Jong. I think I've heard his name before. I'm not too sure he played for Newcastle. It might have been for another Premiership club. Frankie De Jong, Dutch footballer. Of course, if he were to go and play in the MLS for LA Galaxy, it would be a case of Frankie going to Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm sure he did play for him, Manny, Newcastle. Yeah.
No. He hasn't played for Newcastle. His senior career has seen him play for the William Tway team, and then Young Ajax, back to William Tway, then with Ajax, and then straight to Barcelona. He has never played for any other club.
I thought, I'm sure they added De Jong or something before, though. But
Maybe
obviously
Nigel De Jong, I think. I'll have to look that up. We'll see.
Could be, but no, is it Luke De Jong? Harry.
Yeah, Luke De Jong. You might be right there.
Yeah, there's nothing De Jong with that, is there? But yeah, so
nice one. And yeah, you're right. He was at Newcastle United on loan in 2014 and played 12 games. And yeah, I think he's with Porto now. So that's going to be good fun. The Europa League.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you'll remember this player, Manny. Of course you will remember him. But you know Voltemada, you know he reminds me of. Try and guess. If you look at his face and the curly blonde hair.
It can't be Lord Bentner, not Lord Bentner.
No, not Bentner, no. No, not an ex-German.
Peter Crouch?
An ex-German international.
Who played for us?
No, he played he played abroad, didn't he? He played for Germany. A lot of games. It's not Klinsmann, obviously. But guess like a curly blonde hair and a tash and all that. A younger, I'll tell you, Rudi Völler.
Oh, Rudi Völler.
Yeah.
Well, Rudi Völler wasn't as tall as Voltemada, but yeah, I remember Völler very well from Italia United.
You know, that blonde mullet thing.
Yeah, Voltemada's a lot taller, though, you know.
Yeah, and he ain't got gob in his hair, probably, either. So that's this as well. And Frank Rijkaard, we all remember that, didn't we? When that happened.
Oh, yeah. That
Gobbing
disgusting.
In his
yeah.
Yeah, they don't get on well, do they, Germany and Holland? So we all know that.
Well
done. But getting back to this, did you say a score for this one, Manny?
Yeah, I'll go for a 3-1 win for the Blaugrana. I think I mentioned that.
Right, okay. I'm going Barcelona as well. I can't look beyond them because I just think they'll be too good. They have too much for Newcastle, even at home. I'm going. What did you say? 3-1? Did you say?
Yeah, 3-1.
Yeah, I'm going with
Newcastle
that.
will score, but it'll be futile. Barca will just have too much for them.
Big Jack would have smacked him. Yeah, yeah, he's all about Jack Charlton. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, he wouldn't have stood
Big
for
Mick
that.
too, you know. Big Mick too. Mick McCarthy.
Yeah, oh yeah. Big Mick.
6'4", Barnsley, Brickhouse.
Yeah. I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm going to smack you in the face.
Yeah, I will not tolerate that level of disrespect, so I'll smack you one.
Yeah. On the Barnsley. My German mate calls the Dutch cheese heads Kaiser Kopf. Is that what you say? Kaiser Kopf. Is that what you say? Yeah.
Kerskopf.
Kaiser Kopf. Oh, right.
It might be.
Right. Oh, good. I think Warren knows German, so he probably tell us what that means. But so yeah. But anyway, we've done a whole lot of them. We got through all that. Not too bad. We got fairly quickly there, Manny. But should all be good, entertaining, exciting games. You know, hopefully, a lot of goals. We obviously got. I'm more interested in the Carabao Cup, of course, because of us being there in that. So I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow. Hopefully we can get through. Won't be easy. I think this time Villa might give us a bit more problems, possibly this time.
It could be, yes.
But yeah, I think we can just about get through. But I think, Champions League should be good. There's loads of football this week, and that's just some of it. So, he's got there. What's he got? Kaiserkopf means cheesehead in German.
Yeah, he's right. Yes, is what we call cheese, and Kopf is, the head. So, Cheesehead. Yeah, that's right, Warren. Well done.
Well, yeah. Well, I say he knows he's German, so he's obviously he knew that. But,
The only thing is, of course, in German they have they have two dots above certain letters. That sign is called the umlaut. So it changes the pronunciation slightly. You use the diphthong. And big prediction there with Brentford winning the Carabao Cup. Who needs Tommy Frank when you've got Super Keith Andrews?
Yeah, Super Keith, yeah. 45. Happy birthday to you, Keith, the other day. Brilliant. And we got a decent result. We should have won it, but on his birthday, but there we go. We take that point anyway. And because after Villa, we got Fulham after that. So I think we've got to get revenge for last year, last season. They beat us twice, Fulham. So, and unfortunately, we know who's still there that I thought had left, and it's Harry Wilson that scored, 3 goals against us last season in those 2 games. So, unfortunately, he's still there. And no doubt he'll probably frigging score against us again. No doubt. So, they had the habit of that keep happening there, Manny. So, I hope not, but you never know. And then, of course, we got after that United. So that should be easy enough on the 27th.
Yep.
So,
and Bomo's return to the G-Tech. Should be fun. A real hoot.
Yeah, so we don't let him score against us, quite, yeah. But it might happen. But, yeah. United are in a real state, aren't they? Right 2-8. So, good time to play them, really. So, looking forward to it. Anyway, Manny, where can we find you, buddy?
Well, first of all, Steve, big up to you. Thank you for hosting the stream and having me on. A real hoot today. I'm glad I was here. And big up to Warren and Harry and everyone else who was in the chat. You can find me here on the Hive, where we discuss the buzz. And also, I'm looking forward to coming back on your channel where you chat England cricket, Mr. B. Got a lot to talk about with the Women's World Cup and the Ashes coming up. Also, do catch me on Oris Talks Football. No stream tonight, I think. Tomorrow, I will be on Danny AFC TV, as I mentioned. I will be, I'm working with him, just doing a long preview of the game against Bilbao, and then we will be, enjoying the watch along, and we'll see how that sort of works. We always get together when it comes to the big European nights. Some real fun fella, and do please join in the chat if you get time. Although I know you'll be watching the Bees against Villa, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And so there are other channels, of course, where I do have made appearances over the years, over the months, I should say, and I'd like to come back very soon. And when I do, you will all know about it. But until then, nothing much to say, except I hope you will enjoy this week and the football that's on offer, the sport that's on offer. And we will hope to see you again very soon. Until then, take care of yourselves, be safe and be happy. Do unto others, you that others do unto you, and don't do anything that Mr. B or I wouldn't do. Until then, goodbye, farewell, God bless, amen, and see you all soon. Bye.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Take care, mate.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
Yeah, have a good one. Yeah, I like that, Warren. I think you just about saw that before you went. Yeah, England are winning jack shit in the cricket unless Michael Vaughan is running it. Yeah. If he'd still been on, I think, he might have had something to say about that. Strong opinions against that. As we know, but who cares? He don't know what he's talking about with that. But anyway, but thanks to Manny anyway for coming on. And thanks, Harry, for that. Cheers, guys. Great stream as always. Yes, it was a brilliant stream. Hope people were watching it, smashing the likes and subbing if you're new, as usual. Follow me, Mr. B. Follow me on Insta, Mr. B for Life 182, and sub to me on Mr. B Hive Football Chat, Mr. B Chats England Cricket, I've also got to mention I'm doing another Buzz stream tomorrow with Warren. Warren knows, obviously, he's coming on. We're doing a special one tomorrow. It's the Buzz still buzzing. Of course, I'm doing that one. And talking about playing football, Premier games and other games, elsewhere, abroad, in America and so forth. How wrong it is. Why are they doing this? It's terrible. Why do we have to go abroad playing these games? It's not right. Why, I know it's to do with money as well. That is coming into it. And, it's a real money maker, but it's not right. And, we just well call it a business now, football, because that's what it seems to be. It's all business about making money, and that's not right anymore. Where's our game gone? Where's our football gone that we used to love? But yeah, if they do that, so happens to be, you have to go abroad. I think that's wrong. I really do. There's a lot of talk about it, and I'm going to go into a debate about it tomorrow with Warren, obviously. We feel strongly about it, against it, and I'm sure you'll be on fire tomorrow, Warren, buddy, I'm sure you'll be really on a rant and going into it, as I will be, because I feel like you the same as well. I think it's terrible. So that should be an interesting one tomorrow. That's about, I think, what time did we say? It's around 1-ish, 2, something like that. But yeah, it should be good. And, look out for that, guys. It should be a great stream. And thanks to everyone that's been in the live chat. Warren, of course, Melina. Who else have we had? We had I Am Titanium, Harry, of course. And that was it, really. But thanks to everyone that has been watching live or on playback. I'm going to bounce and get myself out of here. But it's been a fantastic stream. Thanks to everyone that's watched and everything. So I'm out of here, guys. Thanks once again. And watch out for the stream tomorrow. Please watch. It should be brilliant. Check it out. Cheers, guys. Bye, everyone.